What's up, y'all? It's another episode of Bulldog Uncensored. Today I got a buddy of mine from the music scene and the indie film scene now. He's adding a little bit more to his repertoire these days. Buddy Brian Rukstalis.
What's up, brother man?
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm glad you got my last name right. You said it properly.
I
Um,
get mine fucked up all the time, so yeah, it is what it
the,
is.
the amount of people who try to pronounce my last name, like if I get phone calls from my doctor's office and stuff, they're like, "Hi, is this a Mr. Ru?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, it is." I just stop so they don't even bother trying to butcher it. But yeah, man.
Right on. Good deal. So, shit, Brian, I've known you, what now? 15, something
Um, I think
like that?
yeah, man.
15 years?
I think we first crossed paths when I was in the Den of the Damned, and we did a
Yeah.
show at the Lucky Dog in Worcester. I want to say when we opened for Schism.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
about right.
and then when I was in Double Shot, we did the Spencer Fair, and you did your stand up
Yeah, yeah.
comedy act. So yeah, not cross paths a couple times. Had a obviously converse more at is it Sterling Fair or Spencer Fair, but
I think it was
uh
Sterling, yeah.
yeah, Sterling. So um converse there, and that's how we kind of got to know each other a little bit there. And dude, you were funny during that. I remember that. That was a fun time too. That fair was a lot of fun. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. I'd say at least at least 10, maybe a little bit longer, 10
Yeah,
years or
something like
so.
that, yeah. So you're predominantly a bass player by trade as far as music goes, correct?
Yeah, I've been playing bass and guitar since I was probably about 14, 15. So more than half my life now. But yeah, stuck to straight up bass playing for the better part of since I was about 20. So, 14 years now.
Right on.
Yeah, man.
And you've done all kinds of covers and all that kind of stuff. Is there any original music you've been working on?
Well, I mean, I was in Devlin Sidus
Right.
for a few years there. Love those guys. You know, can't say enough good things about them, but I wrote my first original tune back when I was in high school, and just an acoustic song as a tribute to my mom. But I more covers than original, but Devlin was the main original band that I was in. Um, you know, for a handful of years. I mean, love it. Like I said, love those guys. Love playing the music. Actually had Sean had a cameo in the movie as well. So
Yeah, I got both Drew Barker and Sean Devlin guest
yes, sir.
starring in a little cameo there. Yeah.
Yeah, they got to rough me up a little bit. It was fun.
So, folks, as you can see, Brian's got a new project. He's put his time and effort in quite a bit in the last year or so, putting it all together and working with PAE. I quite enjoyed it. It's available on Amazon and a bunch of other streaming platforms and whatnot. You can rent or buy. If I were you, I'd buy it just to support the cast. Yeah, so let's take a look.
Wait, I forgot to bring tick spray.
Diego, shut the hell up. There's gonna be black mold and asbestos where we're going.
What?
Where are you going?
Jackson found a cool place for us to explore. Holy crap, guys! Look at this place! Which one's the most haunted? Oh, guys, look what I found! Anybody have a way to play it?
This is Father Gary A. Clayton II. I am documenting my work here at Stonegate Institute. So this is Hunter Scritchfield. He has a suspected case of schizophrenia. He also believes he is possessed by Lucifer.
My demons aren't the ones this asshole believes in.
Dude, we struck gold. This could be an unsolved murder.
That happened at my job? Lives would be at stake.
Dad, have you always worked at the supply company?
We need to find out who this dude was.
If anything evil attaches to me and I bring it to my family,
Más nunca le harán esto a mi hijo.
Obviously, whoever this is angry. You think it's Hunter. Patient files are confidential for a reason.
We're not releasing that tape. Why the hell not? Because it's not right.
Nolan, what did you find out?
dude, we could be heroes. Making this guy's death known so he's not forgotten. And maybe bring justice.
Well, that was a hell of a trailer, man. It's got all kinds of different horror vibes. Very Session 9 kind of. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's probably one of my favorite indie horror films. So yeah, how'd you get started with this whole thing?
Oh man, so this goes back 5 years. Actually, 5 years ago in September. I had joined this band, Audiovex. They were based out of Taunton, and during the pandemic and stuff, I had found more time to do something else with my time, and I started doing urban exploring. So going to like abandoned places and stuff like that. And this old abandoned hospital in Medfield, I started frequenting there a lot, and I got close with the grounds guys there, and they let me, check out. I've probably been in about half of the buildings on that property. So when I joined Audiovex, I was like, "Yo, guys, I got this awesome idea for a music video. I think we should shoot it, at this at Medfield State Hospital." And like, "Oh, we're doing a music video too." I'm like, "Oh, who's filming it?" And they mentioned the director of Stonegate, Dan Groom. I was like, "Oh, no kidding. I used to work with him back at AMC Braintree like 10 years ago." And so when we got, I shot Dan a text and I was like, "Hey man, like I had this idea. I'm in Audiovex now. I heard you were gonna shoot one of their videos that they had for another song." And I kind of came up with the concept of the video. Song's called Remorseless. We shot that at Medfield State Hospital, and that kind of started this whole thing. And it was either end of January or beginning of February of 2021, me and Dan sat down and came up with what was the more or less the full concept of the movie Stonegate. We hashed out probably like 5 hours of sitting in this room right here and coming up with the general concept of it. And we, he finished the script by about, I think it was Memorial Day of 2021. We cast everybody, but because we're still kind of in the pandemic era, everything was on like Zoom, like we're doing right now. And we were ready to go, and unfortunately at the last minute we had to change course. So we never lost hope on this project, but it was, we put it on the back burner. He did some different things, I did some different things, and we always continued to work together though. We had shot a couple more music videos together, and earlier this in May of 24, we finally got the okay to shoot at the location that we used in the movie, which was Tewksbury State Hospital. Started casting in June, and started the first filming day was the weekend of the 4th last year. So I know that was a long-winded answer to how do we get this started, but there needed to be some backstory to go back to where like the original concept started to today. So
what started out as a music video type of situation kind of blossomed into something much more.
yeah.
Um,
It's funny, the music video opening scene is almost close to shot for shot ish of the opening to the movie. So we used, the brainchild ideas that we had for that and put it into this as well.
Nice. So as far as the plot goes, was that more so like how Dan come up with that?
So we just, like I said, we sat down together and collectively came up with this idea. And we were like, well, what if we, you know, do this and do that? And I don't want to spoil too much about like what the plot is, but basically these teenagers go urban exploring, and they, when they're in there, they stumble upon a videotape that covered up that showed a murder happen, doctor on patient that got covered up after all these years. And so like we thought kind of, in that realm of that would be an interesting idea, and like what would come of them finding that and all that. So um, yeah, I don't know. Like we both enjoyed uh, the abandoned building aspect, and he's very heavy into the paranormal. I am too, not as much as him, but we use that as a plot point as well. So um, yeah, it was just a lot of back and forth for those, like, 5 or 6 hours that one day, and then he just ran with it, man. Like the things he's able to come up with, and the dialogue and all that stuff. And every week or so, he would send me pages and get my opinion on it. And it's just we work so well together. The things he's able to write down, his vision, my vision, and we just put them together. And I think what comes out on the other end is just magic. And visually, everything that we've done, in my opinion, looks great. But without his expertise, like it, I just, our collabs are great. So
And he's got one hell of a cast. A lot of these young kids, um, you know, who had the most previous acting experience?
so that would actually be, I want to say it would be Mark. Mark Lund. He played the priest in the movie. I want to say him, and if it wasn't him, a close second or right on the same tier would be Patience. She played the aunt of Nolan in the movie. The actor's name is Rowan, but so it's a toss up between those two.
Gotcha. But yeah, those kids showed a lot of promise. I can definitely see a few of them standing out later on, as things progress. What was your favorite part about making this?
Man, obviously being at the location of Tewksbury State Hospital was awesome, but just the creative aspect, like whether it be coming up with an idea the day of shooting, like in the moment, or working with the kids, and just like the behind the scenes stuff. Like now when I watch TV shows or movies, I know how certain things are done, like because I witnessed how they were done, so the little filming secrets that someone who hasn't worked on a film might not know. So just being creative, man, like it's a lot of fun. It brings the most joy out of me as a person. Just working with Dan, being creative, and seeing the whole thing come to fruition. It's hard to pick one, man. Everything was so much fun. I loved every minute of it, and I I wouldn't change anything about it. It was awesome.
No, definitely. I mean, like you said, without giving too much away, there's a lot of twists and turns in here, and a lot of things you might not expect at first glance. And I really appreciate that, and especially in independent film. A lot of times you get very straightforward, you know, not too much flair to anything plot wise. And considering you guys were under $20,000 budget, you pulled off quite a bit. What do
Yeah,
you think was
absolutely.
the biggest challenge starting out, like as you were getting past, okay, well, we've got this all storyboarded and all that kind of thing. Like, what did you see being the first major, like, was there any real hiccups or was it all pretty smooth sailing?
Um, I'd say it was honestly a pretty smooth sailing. There were some instances of unexplained things that happen at the hospital, as far as like, again, if you believe in the paranormal and stuff, like equipment malfunctions or things just going on that we couldn't explain. But no, everything went smoothly, man. Like I think there was one day we had to call off because one of the kids was sick, but everything else went incredibly smooth. We had a great, um, help and support staff at the hospital. We had a detail with us that made sure that like no one got in our shots and all that stuff. So everything went as smooth as it could be. I mean, actually, you know what? The biggest hurdle was there was a baseball field that was having little league games right across from where we were filming, and at the end of each game, so it was every like 45 minutes to an hour, they were playing music. So like "Welcome to the Jungle" or "Crazy Train" or the national anthem. So we had to work around that. Other than that, everything went super smooth. I honestly can't think of anything that was a hiccup per se.
So a lot of times in film, most people don't always know this, but you won't always get the entire cast together at once, depending on where you're shooting. Um, what was it like when you did have everybody together? Did you
uh
joke around a lot? Was there any kind of camaraderie or?
oh yeah, everyone got along great. It was like everyone, even on the first day of shooting, it's like, so we had Rowan and Patrick, so the father and son duo in the movie. Um, Everyone just gelled immediately. And even when all the kids were together, they were having a lot of fun. Um, I was able, we were all able to have fun together and joke around, and um, even if like takes got a little messed up, we could all like laugh at it and just all right, let's pick right back up. So everyone got along great, and that was huge. And in between takes, the kids might be a little like rowdied up, but as soon as that red light hit, man, it was game faces on. Everyone was amazing. All of them, every single one, from the kids to the adults to the extras to everyone in between. Everyone was always on point as soon as that red light turned on.
Now you play a schizophrenic individual hunter.
Yep.
Did you take any inspiration from previous characters that you've seen in film, or what was it like developing?
Um, so I actually took a lot from Heath Ledger's Joker.
Okay.
And I know that is kind of strange considering like what happened to him after the fact, but um, yeah, I use that, and you know how I used to be when I was in The Dead and the Damned. Like you put on a little bit of makeup and you become someone different. You're no longer yourself, and um, yeah, it was mostly those two things, and I obviously changed my voice a little bit, add a little more rasp to it. But I would say, Heath's Joker was a huge inspiration for me for this character, even though the characters are very different. Um, I try to use his mannerisms a little bit, and even as far as maybe some wrestlers like Kane or the Undertaker with like the head tilts and stuff like that, but or Michael Myers. So yeah, I mean, I'd say those were my biggest inspirations as far as like getting into character.
Now, is this the first film you've worked on?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say the music videos I've done have been, like mini films because they all have kind of like a plot to them, or a story per se. But as far as like proper film and full length, yeah, this is my first one.
Well, for the first shot out of the gate, I can't give you any more than two thumbs up, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we are in spooky season. We mentioned Michael Myers and all that fun stuff. Do you have any uh, particular horror films that you go back to around this time of year?
So I will always say that lately, I can't think of anything better, but my favorite all-time horror anything that I think is perfectly done was The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. Um, I'll go back and watch that every year. I think it was just perfect. As far as movies go, I mean, the OG Halloween will always be, the catalyst for the slasher genre and the horror genre. So, um, yeah, even some of the reboots, like Zombies reboot of Halloween and the most recent trilogy that just came out. I love Michael Myers. He's my favorite slasher guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Haunting of Hill House. I love that, miniseries. Um, yeah, I think I've watched that like 5 times since it came out.
Are you a fan of the Terrifier movies?
I am. I actually saw. I've seen all three. I saw the third one last fall. Uh, Bloody gory, I will say.
Yeah, I think I actually got to sit down last year with Art the Clown / David Howard Thornton before everything took off for them, and it's amazing to see where that whole series has gone from where it started back in All Hallows Eve all the way to the first Terrifier, etc. So, do you foresee any kind of sequel to this story that you're involved with Stonegate?
um, we've discussed it. Um, we'll definitely take some time off. We just had our final in-person screening actually last weekend on October 11th at the hospital, actually. Um, so I think, we'll take some time. I'm sure Dan has other projects that he'll be working on. But yeah, we've discussed. I can't say exactly what, so as to not spoil this movie, but yeah, there's been some light discussion. Might not be for a little bit, but yeah, there has been some discussion. I would like to, as long as we can come up with a good story. You know.
Well, I think there's a lot to build off of what you guys started with in this first film. So I think it's definitely got potential to go somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, like you said, there is a lot to build off of, and I am constantly brainstorming ideas. So when the time's right, we'll see.
No, definitely. I hope to get back in behind the camera again sometime in the next couple of years myself. So it's been almost 10 years, probably more than that now. Um, I did that How I Dumped Your Ex-Boyfriend's Body years and years ago, and that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed. I mean, it's a little easier because it's a bit of a comedy, but um, I'd love to do a horror comedy. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we threw a little bit of you know comedic jokes into this, and a couple there was one scene in particular that I could not stop laughing after each take. I'll say when the kids are watching the tape and the dad comes home and then they say what they were watching. Dude, in between each take, because as adults we get it, right?
Yeah.
But the kids didn't, and I just could not stop laughing in between. It was hard not to laugh when we were filming. I was actually doing sound. You had to be as still as possible holding that boom mic, man, and not make a peep. And so every time Dan said cut, I was like, I could not stop laughing.
So has anything developed for any of the rest of the cast since then? Anything of note?
I don't know. I know. I mean, a lot of three of them I think are still in high school.
Yeah.
Gabriella was actually going into her first year of college. So yeah, no, I saw them all at the premiere, and it was just great to just see everybody again. And unfortunately, we didn't like chat that much because everything was so hectic. But it was great seeing everybody, back in May. So yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said. All these kids have a lot of promise, and we would definitely love to work with all of them again. So yeah, we'll see.
The creative process for films, like you said, a number of years before things come to fruition, more often than not. Is there anything you would go back and do differently this time?
No,
No.
not at all. Everything. I'm a strong believer in fate. Everything was meant to happen for a reason. And we needed to have those setbacks, 4 years ago to get to where we are right now, and to get where we got last year when we started filming. And honestly, man, I wouldn't change a thing. Everything was an amazing experience, a hell of an experience. It was a lot of fun. And the last day of shooting was bittersweet, like everything was so nothing was happening for 3 years, and then all of a sudden everything was boom, 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 boom. And then when it flew by, that entire last summer flew by, and when that last day happened and that was it was like, wow, we did it. Like we have been doing this for 4 years, and this summer we did it, and it was just one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, to be completely honest with you. And yeah, no, man, I wouldn't change a thing. It was, in my eyes, perfect. The experience and everything. So I'm super grateful for Dan giving me the opportunity to be in it, and B, collab with him and do the things that we've done. So yeah, man, I wouldn't change a thing. Everything in my eyes was perfect. So
Do you think you'll be seeking out any other projects outside of this?
Maybe, I mean, I'm still semi retired from music. I still play at home and stuff, but if the right thing comes along and all the stars align, like that sounds a little egotistical, but yeah, if I'm in the right space, I would love to do something else, whether it be music or another film, or hell, even a music video for somebody. I just love being creative, and having someone ask me, hey, can you write like a concept for my music video? Man, that's awesome. I mean, I've never done it before prior to 2020, and it brings me a lot of joy. I listen to the song, read the lyrics, and start writing. And I'm a terrible writer, but I'm able to come up with ideas. So yeah, man, if anyone out there in the world needs a music video idea that has some sort of a story to it, let me know. I love doing it.
Absolutely. No, my current band right now is going to be working on getting some new material out, and we'll be shooting videos hopefully within the next 6 months. So I'll definitely be talking to you about that too.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I love doing it, and as long as I have the lyrics for and the music, and I can just zone out, I love it. It's awesome.
Good deal. So, yeah, Halloween's coming up. We got your former bandmates and Devil Inside Us playing with me, Ravager, and about, let's see, Fall of Atlantis and Otherworldly Entity is coming from New York. Halloween night, the Raven, Worcester, Mass. will be there. Speed Demon Halloween. We'll be talking about all kinds of stuff and enjoy some really good heavy music. Costume contest. So be sure to check that out, folks. I'll be posting online about that all week and then some. But Brian, no, it's nice to catch up a little bit. Um, Definitely enjoyed myself sitting down and watching Stonegate. It was something out of the ordinary for me, so it was a nice change of pace for sure. Um, but yeah, check out Stonegate online, Stonegate movie, YouTube, Amazon, you name it. I'd highly recommend it. If you're enjoying independent film and want to get down with the spooky stuff, that's the way to go.
Absolutely.
All right, Brett. Well, thanks for coming on. I know it was a
Thanks for
short
having me, man.
week, but yeah, I'm glad I was able to connect with you for a little bit.
Yeah, me too, man. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed this, and like I said, man, it was great catching up, and it's been a hot minute, so I'm glad we got to do this.
Right now, well, check out Stonegate and always stay tuned for new episodes of Bulldog Uncensored.